Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. Where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. Where them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can't be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to.
Hi everybody. I'm Kimberly with Unseen
Unseen to
Truths. And I got my co-host Henry and Appetite and DDH.
Hi, painkillers. I'm Henry.
Hi Henry, we're painkillers. No,
Good evening.
we're painkillers. And then we have our guest coming and he'll be here shortly. He's trying to find a charger. But anyway, so I had to start a new Facebook page, and I am trying to, because I can't log in with that page plus my other pages, so I have to go to it regular to take it and link it, because I'm trying to figure out how I can get monetized through everything, because Unseen Twisted Truth is not monetized. And the reason why Unseen Twisted Truth is not monetized, because I cannot recognize my business because I have too many businesses.
Look at you.
So for me, in order for me to be able to separate the businesses, I have to separate me and say, yes, we all use the same phone number. Yes, we have different EINs. Yes, they are both my LLCs. And yes, there's no funky stuff going on because they think I'm doing funky stuff.
No monkey business.
No monkey business. No monkey business. But yeah, so that's what we're dealing with right now. But I can't find the live, so I don't know how to share it. I have to go to my other page, I guess.
Oh dear.
So I want to talk about how it is being strong through losses. When you want to fold, you can't fold. You just can't. You have to be able to stay strong. And it sucks because there's times where, you're just like, I can't do this. This is heavy. And you want to fold, but you can't. Can you relate to that? Either of you?
Oh yeah. What about these guys?
Oh yeah. That's almost every day for me.
So what do you do though in those situations when you're just like, okay, our guest when he shows up, he's going to talk about the time he had to perform right when his aunt died, like.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah.
For me, I found a way to like manage. So what I do is I do music. I stay busy, do something productive. Like that's always been like my best advice, is do your best to do something productive. You know what I mean? Just stay busy. Like that's however you feel you can get busy and stay busy. That's what I do. I just do music. Through the tough times I'm dealing with now, it's about music. I turn to my music. It's therapy. So you have to find some way to, you know, um, be therapeutic towards it. Relax your mind, relax yourself.
What do you feel, Henry?
Well, let's see. Hi everybody. I shared a wheel off my homemade motorcycle on Michigan's extremely fun roads. And, it sent me careening into a bridge. And I really got fucked up. And I can't do anything about anything that I need to do right now in my life, which is a lot because I got a lot going on. So essentially, my whole world's been falling down around me, and I've been rendered non-bipedal for a week now. I got a cane. I got scissor. I'm doing everything I can to get better. And I don't know. I just can't blow up about it. I've been through so much shit. I've been dragged through so much stuff. I feel like my whole body's all callous and scarred up. And that's good because now the shit's just kind of rolling off. I guess if you're not dead, you always got a backup plan. And I've been sinking into that routine that I always got a backup plan. Shit, my guitar's neck is splitting off. Everything's falling apart right now. I've learned to deal with trauma and things better. So you're watching in real time as I deal with that stuff. And part of that is my father getting really close to what looks like an awful end. And yeah, what am I gonna do? Grin and bear it. I'm not gonna grin and bear it. Cause I ain't dead.
I feel that. I feel that. So what I end up doing is writing the description, and this is how I feel about this subject. Because we have choices. We talked about that before. It's our choices how we want to see things, So let me read the description if I can find it. I know I sent it to you, Henry. I know I sent it to you, brother.
I do have it.
So it was like life gets hard and it be lifing. It's all about how we handle the hard times when we want to fold. Perception's key in many things in life. If you perceive it to be hard, it's going to feel like a rock. If you perceive it to be a breeze, then it's going to feel like the wind. We all have choices in how we want to see things through the hard times and the rough moments. When we lose loved ones and we still got to be going, put on our rose-colored glasses and see the bright and love in life with light. If we see hard times, if we see hard times is just in moments, maybe we will be able to get through them just as they are intended to be, temporary. Nothing lasts forever. When you go through a storm, it feels like it's been like the worst of your life, and it feels like your life is over with because you're in it. And it's only dark because you're in it. So if you start looking at things differently and realizing that it only looks like this because you're in the middle of the storm, but you can change how you perceive it and change your perception of it. And once you change your perception of it, then all of a sudden it may change. The ideal of it may change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard to be unbothered. That's a good skill to develop. You got to put points into that one.
It is hard to be. It is hard to be unbothered, but the thing is, though, if you realize it's just moments, we all live in moments. Living in the now takes every single moment and make them temporary.
I feel that. You mentioned storms. And my thing with storms is, yeah, we gotta definitely weather the storm. But I believe I had said this last week. I mentioned that I'm learning to dance in my storms. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to dance in your storms, and that's something I'm still growing into. But it definitely is a different vibe when you learn to dance in them. You still go through the struggles, yeah, but yeah, learning to dance in them makes it a little easier as you go more and more and further into your journey.
I can receive that. I can receive that. Facebook is trying to stop me. I know it is. It's telling me I cannot share the live because it's only limited for a small group of people. I
Facebook's
can't
crazy.
see the live at all. I can't see none of the live to share it.
Oh, we got you. We sharing over here. Me, Danny, and
Yeah, but I'm trying to share it on my new page because I want my new page to be strictly for Unseen Twisted Truths.
You want me to see if I can share it to your page?
Yeah.
All right.
Because it's saying that it's unavailable on my own main page because it's saying it's only to be shared for limited people.
Screw it. Did you get my message, Kimberly, on the new page?
Probably not. I don't know how to use the new page because I just created it today, so I don't know how to do it through a laptop.
That would stand to reason because I sent you. Can you hear me now? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I'm mad. It's saying public, but I don't know why I can't see it. I'm gonna have to figure it out. Technology is fun, right? So, as that being said, they make it so that it's not as easy as it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be simple. They make it a lot harder for some reason. But anyway, so standing through the test of time. It's crazy because you think of when you lose somebody. What do you think of most when you lose somebody? What hurts you most?
My memories.
Memories.
Memories are beautiful, but they can be like, scars in our psyche. Animals remember shit, but not like us. This shit lasts forever sometimes. But it can be beautiful too. It's how you see it.
Right.
It is how you see it. So that's what I want to do. I want to have people see it differently. I want to help them see it differently. I want them to see another side of it. They didn't think of it. Because you miss the people, but how much did you really interact with the people when they were here?
Yeah,
Probably
deep.
not as much as you should have. So when someone passes, they are not here anymore and missing them. The fact that they're not here anymore and missing them, that is a good fact. But the thing is that when they were there, how much time did you spend with them? Probably not as much as you wish you should have, because now they're not here.
Yeah, be careful with shoulds.
People got to realize people miss people when they're not there, and they talk about them, and it's like, oh, I'd love to talk to them and stuff. But how much did you really spend time with them when they were? Because life be lifing. You got your own life. You got your own things. So you miss the ability to be able to talk to them.
Some people, I've had some really good relationships where it's like people, you save the game with them. And then when you talk to them like a year later, it's like you never missed a beat or whatever. It's hard to attain that friendship. We're not it's hard to be obliged to know everybody on a very personal level. And that is true. We should be reaching out and talking to each other and communicating, but still within the boundaries of reason. So it's hard to beat yourself up over that, but it is a good reason to maybe reach out, to a few people you're pretty close to.
I really want people to realize that it's temporary. Life is temporary. Everything is temporary. These are all little moments combined together to make one big moment. Nothing is forever. The only thing that lasts forever is our souls. Our memories, our taste, our thought process, everything's temporary. Nothing sticks with us forever.
No.
Not at all.
I keep getting into accidents and I keep seeing my life flash before my eyes because they're always terrifying. And, I'm not always going to be gangsta and like tuck my chin and go into autopilot. Maybe that won't be available. And, it could be over just like that. Shit happens so fast. It is temporary. I feel bad for all the people that get crushed in monster movies who never get talked about, even in the post-credit scene. People got all crushed. I know it's a movie that's stupid. You got to think about how short life is. People, I don't think they really can perceive how over in a flash things can be.
Right.
And there's a reset button.
And I really don't think it's meant for forever this, though. I don't think none of this is. We have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years on this planet, so they say. So they say. Do you know how many lives been through that in that span of time that they say? Trillions. Gazillions. Nothing's permanent. I feel we should make the most of every single moment as if it may be your last, because you never know when it is your last. But people don't think that way. They think that, oh, that person's going to be there forever. But you can't let it stop you when they're not, though, because you still got to get going. You still got to keep going. I lost my mom. I'm going to lose my dad. That's just how things go. People pass on. People transition. That's what our life's about. It's about learning the lesson that we have to learn in here and going on to the next step, whatever that may be.
Grief can hurt, but it can still be healthy. You know? I mean, it can still hurt. Just process it in a healthy way. It's a hard thing to do sometimes. Emotions are heavy.
I can't wrap my head around how grieving hurts. I'm a different breed, though. I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. I've held out hands over 30 people that have died. Grief doesn't hurt me because they're never really gone. And when they were here, I really didn't spend much time with them anyways. Like my son, if my son passed, it would hurt me because I wouldn't be able to see him again, but it won't hurt me enough to stop me from living because I barely see him now.
I feel bad that whoever it is doesn't get another chance.
But that's before you were born, that was written in the stars. Before they were born, that was written in the stars. Our time has been stamped on us before we came here. We didn't do anything to make it shorter or longer. Do you agree or disagree?
I'm not a big fate person. I'm a big fate person if you go and stick your head inside of a lion's mouth or something, like in front of a crowd of people. I think fate may not be on your side on that one. But
do you not think that when you're going to pass is already written?
I would have to see it calculated.
Because I don't think it's chance. I don't think it's circumstance. I think it was already planned. What do you think, brother?
Yeah, I'm kind of like up in the air with it because that's just off the deep. It's pretty deep there, you know. But I do understand perspectives. You feel me? And I respect them and I receive them. You know, yeah, we definitely do have a date. Now, how it comes about and all that, I guess I just never really thought too deep on it, to be honest. You know what I mean? It's just kind of live in the moment while we're here, like you said, you know, try and make the best of it because you don't know. And I've took some heavy losses, you know, and you're right. And then there's some points for me is just where I think about moments that maybe I like to have spent time with people that are no longer here and they just chose not to. So some of those, you know, some of these things you're speaking on, yeah, they do cut. They don't cut, but they do hit deep because, you know, yeah, when you do sit back and you utilize your time to think about those type of things, you know, it does make you think like, man, you know, it's almost like you got to pick and choose. It's kind of like that, you know, well, you got to use your time wisely. But it doesn't take a long time just to reach out to say hi either, though. So I respect where you're coming from. Like, life does happen. It does happen, you know what I mean? And sometimes we do get occupied with just the things that we're going through as individuals, you know what I'm saying? We do find ourselves stagnant at times because of life situations. And I feel like for me personally, sometimes I think and I'm like, damn, maybe I should have utilized the people around me. So I'm learning to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people that's gonna be there for you, and then there's people that ain't gonna be there for you. But the ones that are there for you, you know, they're just there. Like, yo, I'm not just painted on the wall. But sometimes we get it in our head, like you don't want to drain people because you're going through things. So it's kind of hard to reach out to people when you're going through things. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a moment that I'm bringing forward because I feel like that's an important time when it comes to relationships. You know, um, like I said, it's almost like a pick and choose thing. You know what I mean? It's just kind of hard to really hit the nail on the head. But I just feel like we're all coming with some good points.
I talked to a lady who was 106 years old, and I asked her, at 106, how do you feel about life? She said, I'm ready to go. And I said, what do you mean by that? She said, I outlived all my children. I outlived all my family members. I outlived all my pets. She said, I have no one here. Great nieces or great, whatever, but that's it. She said, I have nobody really here. And she's like, I outlived everyone, even my doctor. And she's like, so I'm just ready to go. She said, but I can't leave until I learn that lesson I'm supposed to learn while I'm here, because my purpose has to be filled. And she believed that's the reason why she still was alive, because she hadn't fulfilled that purpose yet.
Yeah, see, that holds value. What she said holds a lot of value. You know what I'm saying? Because you do ask yourself that though, no matter what age, at a certain point in your life, you do ask yourself like, what is my purpose? Especially when things are chaotic, it makes you pull into your mind like, damn, like, why am I going through so much? You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? And maybe we just ain't doing the right things. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. Like life is a trip. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm learning is, they say, life is a trip. I say, yeah, life's a trip, but shit, we could tie our shoes. You feel me? And
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 not
that's what I
fall.
feel like. Yeah, I feel like that's what this is. Like what we do is we're helping each other tie our shoes. You know what I'm saying? And this is a good one. This is a good topic. I'm loving it. It's
I
got me
mean,
thinking.
purpose is purpose, whether it's written in the stars or self-defined, right?
Yeah.
Food. Yes, sir.
And that's the truth. But the thing is that, like, how do we determine what, when we fulfilled it? What is that spot? What is that moment that we were like, okay, we fulfilled our purpose?
When it
Is
feels
it
good.
when we pass?
No, probably not.
I don't know. Because
Because you haven't done that.
my sister,
You die and fall over, and then your body becomes part of the earth. You're gonna feed millions and billions of little micro ecosystems. Maybe that's your purpose.
my
But that's
sister
kind of
went, my sister went to the store, went to Walmart for munchies because they were all high at 2 something in the morning and didn't make it home. Was her purpose to go to the store? Did she fulfill her purpose by what? I don't know. Having a lesson this other lady has to learn now. Because sometimes our passing might be a lesson someone else has to learn from. Because that lady now has to spend time in prison about killing my sister.
someone might have seen that post and quit drinking. And as far-fetched as that sounds, it's possible. The more things that are shared and the more eyes that see things like that. No one has to be a martyr, but it's really about perception. And perception could continuously give her purpose.
Right.
It could. Yep. And that's what I feel about this whole topic. It's all about perception, because the thing is that if we see a moment as being a really hard moment and we lost someone dear to us and we had to continue being strong, then we're going to live in that moment of it is constantly being hard. And it's constantly, we're going to live in that moment of that loss, and we're not going to think about anything else. Now, he had to go perform afterwards. You know what I'm saying? He got paid to be in this gig. So he had to go and act like nothing happened. No one passed. I mean, it was his aunt, but still, maybe he was really close to her.
How'd it go?
I wasn't there. Danny was there, and I guess he performed fine. But then afterwards, then he went to a gas station and got grazed by a bullet that wasn't intended for him. And I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I don't talk to him. But at the end of the day, that's just how it goes, you know? I mean, circumstances and situations. We put ourselves in certain situations and circumstances happen to us. Henry, you were just going to get something to eat and biffed it.
Oh, when I fucked up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted food. I haven't had a license in 6 years. Michigan won't see it fit to give me my license back, so I build Mad Max vehicles to get around now at this point. You go 6 years without a license and make you crazy. So yeah, I wanted to go to a different store, a different gas station. So I hopped on. And then fate or whatever happened. Actually, it was Gretchen Whitmer didn't decide to fix that bridge. Whoops. And I carried a little too much speed down that hill. But yeah, it's nothing. It's an innocuous type thing that happens. Not just to relate to me. Life's out of nowhere and life's fast. And your fate doesn't matter. And that's scary. Scary to think about how insignificant you can be in the face of everything. Whether your message carries on through eternity or not.
Wow. I like that, Henry. I love that. I love that, man. That's real, man. That's real.
Think about a lot of shit in 30 seconds.
No, you do. And you and listen, what it could have been worse, and like a lot of things could have been happening that was way worse. And now you just got a bruised ass and you're fine. Well, you're not.
Well, I scraped all the skin off my ass. I have the worst sprain I've ever had in my life. I'm just now able to put weight on it. I'm scissor, if I wasn't kidding. I'm on codeine. I'm flying now. I started at the beginning of the podcast. It's great. It's great.
I'm glad you're not in pain at least, man, and you're managing right now. It's good to have you on the show too.
You know I had to pop on and say hi. I didn't know if I was going to last the whole time.
It really shows your character, man. Appreciate you being here.
I love you guys.
Well, we love you too, babe.
For sure. We definitely love you.
But it's just like that, though. Like, that's how life is. Like, tomorrow's not promising no man. And what are we going to do with the moment that we're in? Do we want to sit and think about all the hard times? Do we want to sit and think about everything that's heavy in our moment? Or do we want to continue going?
I feel like the natural instinct is that. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I feel like the natural instinct is to keep going. But we just don't understand the matter of the struggle to keep on going sometimes. It can be quite difficult. You could take the strongest person you know, and I guarantee they can tell you that they've had a weak moment in their life. That's how they got as strong as they are. So I mean, we got to recognize our weaknesses, but understand we also grow from that too. And sometimes we get trapped. Serious things happen in life. We're speaking on this gentleman's, loss that he took. So I'll stick to that. But grieving, that's a damn difficult thing. To deal with. People think that there's a period of time that is on grieving. I mean, you're expected. You can expect someone to be okay because it's been a year. You think because it's been a year in your mind, you're not that person, but in your mind, you're like, it's been a year, so they're probably not affected the same way as they were when it first happened. And to be honest with you, from experience and just meeting people and knowing people that still deal with struggles when it comes to losing someone, that shit gets harder the more time passes by for some people, because if they hold relevance in their life, it's definitely going to hit you harder. Now, if it's someone that you barely spoke to, sort of like you were speaking on, sis, like, sometimes it is easier to deal with things when you take a loss like that because you didn't really have that strong connection. But when you're dealing with those strong connections, yeah, you get tested. I think your faith is tested. I think it's just your knowledge of oneself that gets tested a lot too. You learn a lot about yourself when you're grieving. You definitely do. And sometimes you learn that you could push harder than you ever thought you could. So
And,
there's a lot of lessons with it.
and I cried over the loss of my dog way more than I did the loss of my mom.
Pets are hard.
I don't know if I had a stronger connection with my dog than my mom, but I cried over that loss. I cried over the loss of my dog, and I didn't cry over the loss of my mom.
Emotional attachment, maybe.
Maybe because she was been dead to me before.
Yeah.
She's been dead to me before she was even dead. I don't know. I do know that. Go ahead.
Oh no, I didn't want to cut you off, Kimberly.
No, I do know that I think that I separated myself from that want of having her in my life because I wanted it so much my whole entire life that she never was there for me. So I separated myself from that want of her. I needed my dog. My dog gave me the feeling of companionship that I was lacking in life. You know what I mean? So like, I think it's because I separated that want from her a long time ago.
Yeah, I received that. That makes sense too. That makes sense, especially if you do have to deal with detachment, like especially emotions and stuff, the bond and everything. Like, you know, the part that I feel is just really the shitty part about it is being forced to do something that you know naturally doesn't come to you. You know, if you're naturally willing to love people no matter what, to have to be like, you know what, you know what's best for you, but that fight just to let go, that's a struggle on its own. So I mean, once you do that, hell yeah, I feel like I definitely understand where you're coming from, because I feel like, you know, it'll be the same way for me in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I used to say sad to say, but it wasn't my choice. I made my choice. My choice. I stood where I stood. Then when you see it differently, sometimes you do have to make that separation. When people don't see you in the same light as you see them, it's very important that you move forward, because you're forever going to have issues, and sometimes others that naturally have that instinct to do just shit stuff to you, you don't have room for that, because you need to have space to go through what you got to go through, grow through what you need to grow through, and that distraction can keep you in that position that you're working hard to get away from. So that's deep. That was some good food though, but it was deep.
Yeah. So holding on to life, holding on to attachments of life. That's what I break away from. I don't have, like I said, my dog was the longest thing I've ever had in my life. My son, I can't believe I still had him for as long as I did without ending him, because I really didn't have anything that lasted. And he didn't live with me forever. Off and on after 17, but it wasn't forever. And he's got his own little family and his own little life. And I go for days and weeks without speaking to him, maybe even months. My whole family's been that way. My whole family's been the way of that. When someone goes, we let them go. We don't hold on to it. Nobody holds on to things in my family because it's hard, I guess, because nothing's permanent.
You know, Kimberly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lux is my mom was a really mean person, like a real vicious person.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just things like how our parents and people close to us shape us. I guess in terms of grief, not feeling like grief.
Yeah.
I think about my mom every time I play guitar, because she showed me my first chords and taught me how to play guitar. So it's very hard to not have that attachment, in some aspect. And then by the same merit, I really like certain movies. My mom really liked watching movies with me. So every time I watch a new movie and I finish it or whatever, I'm like, man, I wonder if mom would have liked Deadpool or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, probably. And it's just, we're social animals, very sentient animals, and it's. I don't know if I'll ever be able to rid myself of those thoughts. They're not necessarily bad.
I think that's why. It's because they're not bad. You know, I feel like things like that. I feel like that's the sweet part about life. Those are the sweet moments because it comes from a moment that evidently you cherished. You know, and that was a decent time. It may not have been the best time, but it was a decent time and something to remember her by. Besides all the stuff that we know, like when people do stuff wrong to us, you know, and it's more negative than it is positive. Of course, you know, it kind of bleeds into the thought process. You know, this person has a habit of doing this, that, and the other, and no matter how hard you do your best to like see them in a different light, they just unscrew that light bulb and put theirs back in. So you're kind of like,
That's so true. That's so
shit.
true.
I told you to leave it alone. It was hot. You
That's
touched it
so
and it was
true.
hot. You just keep on burning your fingertips. So I'm gonna just let you burn your
Mhm.
fingertips, and that's what we end up doing after a while. We're just like, you know what? You want to keep on burning your fingertips? That's on you. Um, I had a quick question for you guys. No, I hope it comes back to me. But oh, here it is. I think this. I'm trying to figure out how to word it. But do you guys think once we leave this place, spiritually, do you feel like we stick around to
Yeah.
correct things that we tried to correct while we were here? Do you
Hmm.
think that it's possible for us to get kind of left here to carry out what we thought we need to finish? What if our purpose, like the question was earlier, when we die, does it mean that we served our purpose? What if afterlife we're still making an effort to serve that purpose?
Hmm.
Maybe sometimes us being like taking that loss, or us losing our life or whatever when we are in the afterworld, maybe that's the purpose of why we were here, for individuals that were left behind that's still here, for them to go ahead and grow. And maybe like you had mentioned earlier, sis, maybe that's like to push them through a transition point in their life so they can make changes and move on. And it could possibly be the same process for them when they pass on. We just don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, I think it's all questions and great questions. It's just like, damn, I mean, that's on my mind now. Like, hmm.
I think that is frequencies, and I think they're still here, and I think they're just on a different frequency than we are, and that's why I can't tap into them. And the reason why I think that is because they created the mirror for the looking glass for the people of the past that passed. That's what a mirror was created for. So when people that passed on could still see us, and we could talk to them. That was what a mirror was for.
Oh, I got a lot to say on that, so I'm gonna try and condense it. I maybe, for years I kind of considered myself an atheist, and then I realized that saying that is rather close-minded, in my humble opinion. So I moved into a more agnostic sort of mindset about things. That being said, I still rely heavily on math and calculation. And I do believe it's hard to, I can't calculate what's left behind of someone. Am I doubtful? No. I think a lot of things get left behind. There's a lot that can't be explained. And there's other dimensions. And we've looked into that. But I think some things are worth waiting for because I get very overwhelmed with just existing and being alive, let alone worrying what is going to happen after that. And until I have a very solid way of trying to calculate that in some kind of aspect without too much speculation, I try to pour as much as I can into just being alive in the moment. I do say I think people worry about this question far too much instead of living in the present. But it's very human of us to think that way. Or let's say sentient of us to think that way. As long as we have a thinking brain, a lot of those brains are going to consider what happens after. It's just hard to process that information. If that somewhat answers it, I hope.
Um, I want to go back to my mom for a second. My mom wasn't a bad person. She just didn't want to be a mom. So I don't have bad memories of her. I have empty memories of her because she never really wanted to be a mom. I longed for her my whole entire life, so I kept going back and going back and going back, and she kept on throwing me away and throwing me away and throwing me away. Then I come to terms that I didn't need her in my life anymore to grow. Yet there's still pieces of her that still live on through me. She had the biggest heart in the world. She will give you the shirt off her back and walk around with none. A very sweet person. I have her heart. Not a selfish bone in her whole entire body. I apologize.
Ruh-roh. Hi, I'm Henry. Calls to the Unseen Twisted Truth. Kimberly Vertigan will be right back.
Short commercial break.
This is a short commercial break.
I mean, just to keep it going. I feel like when people pass on, man, I think it goes directly to your bond with that individual. You feel me? Like, I feel that these, people, when they do pass on, like, they're always going to be around you. I feel like they become your guardian angel. You feel me? They watch over you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like some of these quotes that people say, like, gone but never forgotten. You know what I'm saying? That's one of them. But things like that are said like that kind of give you a great idea of, like, just how people feel their loved ones. You know what I'm saying? I see Gifted's comment. He said, "Not really. My mom lives through me, and I feel her presence at times." See, that's love. That's a prime example of what I'm getting at. Like,
That's
you know
what
what
I
I'm
was
saying?
saying.
With my
Yep.
pops, I feel my pops all the time. I feel like when I'm in them low moments, like I'm in a low moment. You feel me? I feel like my people that have always pushed me, like I feel them right there with their hands on my back. You know what I'm saying? The people that are here, it's like they're gonna go ahead and speak their truth on you for what they believe. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like those who have passed on and I'm bonded with and I feel like they like, nah, that's not your truth. Why would I feel them if that wasn't the case? Like, you ask yourself a whole bunch of stuff about your people that you lost over the years, you never forget them. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing is, you'll catch yourself doing things that they used to do. I catch myself in moments when I'm like, man, like, say for instance, when I pray, my Aunt Sophonia, like, she was heavy in the word, you feel me? But it's like every time I pray, I feel like she's sitting right next to me praying with me. You know what I'm saying? And I catch myself praying like she used to pray at those moments when I'm feeling her presence. And I'm like, okay then. Yeah, okay then. I have friends that have took losses and the people that are close to them and they feel like they're guardian angels. Like, they might be at a show or something and they might just get a sign of that loved one. It might be something that they remember them by. Just a random song might pop on. And it's like, yeah, I know you're here because you're grieving still. It's that grieving phase, like in your grieving state of mind that you're in. Like, that's when you feel your people, you're yearning to feel them. And it's like the physical leaves, you're not. I feel like we don't fiend for that physical part. It's the spiritual part that we don't realize that we're fiending for. It's their spirit. You know what I'm saying? We get blinded by the physical because the physical means that someone's in your face, right? Like, they're here. But the spirit never leaves. The flesh left, but the spirit didn't. That's
I agree completely. I catch myself saying things that she would say, even though I wasn't raised with her. Here's another prime example. This is how I do believe that DNA is ran through you, whether you like it or not. My son is a spitting image of his father. And in actions, his mannerism, his sense of humor, all of it. And his dad did not raise him. His dad was not in his life at all and didn't come back into his life until he was almost in his mid-20s. So how is that? How does he have all those characteristics, mannerisms, looking like him, eats like him, walks like him, all that without being raised with him? Because I believe that DNA that he shared with his dad is throughout him.
Oh, yeah. I would say it's rather incredibly obvious in most cases. I sound a lot like my father sometimes. It makes me want to jump off a bridge or something.
So imagine that, when your loved ones passed on, yet you do what they do. You look like they look. You act like they act at times without realizing that, man, that is something they would do. You know? So
wearing
they
that
didn't
clothes,
ever really go, huh?
said you be wearing that clothes and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts. But do they ever really go, though?
nah, they don't go. I don't feel like they go. Like, I don't feel like my pops is going. I don't feel like my big cousin's going. I don't feel like my boy Jamal going.
Mhm.
It's like I catch myself at times when I'm like, I'm a father, so it's like I catch myself at times and I'm like, man, I ain't a good pops. I feel my boy Jamal like, man, you better shut up, yo. Like, get out that dumb, man. You always on that dumb, like just little moments. You know what I'm saying? My pops, like, I model myself off of what I seen him do. You know what I'm saying? No matter how he got treated, like that man, even when I wasn't like in his face, but I know I was in the same area, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't never heard him like really stray away from who he was with his heart. You know what I'm saying? And man, and the crazier part about it is that man, I consider my pops as my stepfather. My biological still breathing, but I ain't got no connection to that man. I don't know that man. You feel me? But that man, like, yeah, that's how I know the spiritual feel is real. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because that man didn't, he didn't give me life, but just his heart and how he was. You feel me? Like I said, why not model myself after someone like that, man? I was going through a lot as a kid, my adolescent years, young adult years, like just for who I decided to be. I can't turn the cheek to it. And I'm glad I don't because shit, that's just who I am. You know what I'm saying? So
My mom isn't the lady who gave birth to me. My mom is the lady who raised me.
hmm.
So the lady that gave birth to me, that's my biological mom that passed. The lady that raised me didn't have to love on me and that didn't have to show me love, still shows me love to this day, and that's my mom.
Well,
So
that's
if you
nurture versus nature.
yeah,
Do you think you took more characteristics of her on or your biological mom?
both, both.
There you go.
My strongness and my determination and my fight came from my mom. My heart and my kindness and the way I want to give and help everyone came from my biological. Both. I think if I didn't have both of them in my life, I wouldn't be who I am today for sure. And even though my biological one didn't raise me, she barely was in my life. I'm gonna say, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, altogether, and I'm about to be 50 this year. She was in my life for 5 years. That's from the time I was born to now. And she's been passed for over 5. So I've only known her for 5 years of my life, from baby on up. Because she left when we were 8, and she was never really there when she was there. She was gone all the time. We'd gone for months, and my dad didn't know where she was. So 5 years of my whole entire life, she raised me. So nah, I believe that, that makes a difference too. But with loss of still having to stay strong because there's someone that still needs us to be strong. It should be us first.
Yeah, we do.
Everything should be us first. We need ourselves to be strong.
It's the same vibration. It vibrates through everything. They urge you in programs, 12-step programs, to not reach out and help people right away.
Yeah, I believe they say
It can
You
put
read
you
that.
in a very hard position.
Read that,
And
Henry.
what's that?
When you're done, read that.
I still feel my grandma's presence. Do y'all believe they stay attached to us? Yeah, Boog Shiesty, in a way. I mean, screw it. I'm gonna relate everything to my accent. Every accent I've ever been in, I've tucked my head and did a breakball roll because my grandfather Henry was he studied like judo abroad in Japan, and he taught me how to fall and roll at a very, very young age. And every time I went through a windshield or crashed into a bridge or smashed into the pavement, not wearing a helmet, I have walked away from that shit. I have walked away from that shit. And every time that happens, I feel my grandpa moving through me. And part of that's because I was one of the few things I was really disciplined in the club, and I really enjoyed it. And it really got through to me when no one else could, and stuck there. I feel my grandpa every time. They live on.
Do you think the people in your life have more of an influence in your life? Or is it your storms you grow through to be a bigger influence? I believe it's the storms that we grow through that's a bigger influence, but how we handle the storms are from the people that influenced us, if that makes sense.
It does. I was figuring out. I felt like it would be both. I just wanted to see what others felt. You feel me? Because, like, I feel like it is a balance. The characteristics and just things as a kid that you pick up from your elders. You know, just sitting back in your head, like your elders say, yeah, you get that from such and such. Look, that little such and such and such. You know what I'm saying? That's beautiful to me. I mean, that puts a smile on my face because, like I said, you know, everybody, even with some of your children, you might say, man, you remind me of, or you might have a niece or nephew. You know what I'm saying? And even sometimes your friends remind you of a family member. You know what I'm saying? And it might be somebody you lost. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you lose someone. You know, just when you meet new people and then you become great friends with those people, it's like characteristics. Like for me, Henry, I'm gonna be honest with you. You remind me of my Uncle Leslie.
Cool.
You remind me of my
I
Uncle
hope.
Leslie. You know what I'm saying? And I was real close to that man. You know what I'm saying? Bad boy for life. And that was before Diddy and all that. He was a country man. You know what I'm saying? Used to sleep with snakes in a tree. Had a pet wolf. Like, you know what I mean? Like, out on 23 acres in Delaware, hunting, fishing, building
Sounds like
shit.
my kind of guy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you remind me of him. That's just a point in case, you know what I mean? But yeah.
My
That's cool.
sabbatical reminds me of my grandma.
See? That's
Yeah.
love.
We tend to go towards people who remind us of
someone that we care for.
Yeah, it's not that we like certain phenotypes and shit on people. I got to answer Joseph Gray. Yeah, I do. I started skateboarding in 7th grade. I'm not doing it with the sprained ankle right now, and I have not dropped in a ramp in forever. But in the last few years, I've been actually working on ground tricks a hell of a lot more. I'm pretty happy with it.
And he hacky sack like a beast.
Yeah, I love playing hacky sack. I have a hacky sack on me at all times.
But yeah, so like my grandma, she used to ask everybody if they wanted a sandwich. She was all about feeding people. Like, you come around my grandma, you guys got to eat. If you don't eat, it's like she's almost offended. Like,
yeah,
you want a sandwich? You want a sandwich? And my sabbatical is the same way. Like, she will give food to anybody and everybody. She wants to make sure people eat. She don't eat much, but she wants to make sure everybody eats. And she will never deny somebody food.
Yeah. You feel better giving or receiving?
Both. It's a boom effect. I just had to learn to receive. I don't know if you can relate to this, brother, but I just had to learn to be able to accept gifts because I felt like I didn't need them. I was okay. No, thank you. I'm all right. I don't need it. Even though I did, I couldn't accept. So the last couple of years after I went through my I grew through the process of growth of when I fought for my life. I was able to receive things as gifts and blessings and whatnot. Before, I wouldn't take things. I mean, I would not take nothing. And Now I'm more acceptable to take things, but it was a hard process for me. It was almost like learning to love myself. It was so hard for me to receive a gift because I
Right.
never get a
Yeah.
gift.
Yeah. Like I've received things, but then, after a while, certain things make you stop, you know, makes you kind of like, oh, well, I'm good. I'm good. So yeah, I'm growing to that. There's so many people that I know I feel want to bless me, and it's just hard for me sometimes to allow it because I'm used to being the one that it ain't so much as trying to bless people, but I don't know, that's just my character. I do
I'm a
things just
giver.
naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, naturally I like to do for people, and it's not. I worry like I do so naturally that I just worry more about come across wrong when I do the things. You know what I'm saying? Because I just when something hits your spirit, you just do it. You know what I mean? You don't question, you don't ask why. You just like, man, yo, I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna feel good about doing it, and I'm gonna keep on doing it because it makes me feel good. So that's my way of coping through, coping with all the things I'm growing through. You know what I'm saying? When I'm growing through things, you know what I mean, the difficulties, when I'm growing through those moments, that's when I'll be like really on it and wanting to bless people and just like, man, put out more love out there, show more respect out there,
Yeah.
like makes it easier to get through it versus just being bitter or being stagnant and not really fucking with people. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a true believer of the boom effect. So the boom effect is like a boomerang. You throw it out and it comes back to you. So what you put out is coming back to you in return. So I'm a true believer of giving because that's how you get. You can't, if you hold on to money, you can't make money. But if you put money out into the universe, money will come back to you abundantly. It's the detachment from it. When we hold on to stuff because we're afraid of losing it, we don't gain extra stuff because we're holding on to
Karma,
it.
karma's the karma system, the boom effect. Similar, right? It's
Kinda. Cosmic energy. It's not really karma, but cosmic energy is kind of like the boom effect. Yeah. What
you
we
don't
put out
always
is
have
what
to
we
look
get in
for that.
return.
You don't always have to look for that shit, Kimberly. I swear to God. I'm once again gonna do this stupid point the finger at me and talk about my fucking accident. Right after my accident happened, some guy on the road called an ambulance for me. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm screwed. The ambulance is coming. My friend pulled up in an SUV and said, Henry, you look shitty. And I looked up, I'm like, oh my God, you? And she's like, do you want to ride to the hospital and want to hit my breeze pen? I'm like, yes. So I got a free ride to the hospital, and she bandaged my leg up and let me hit the breeze pen all the way there. I did something for that. I did something for that. I
The
just, I
cosmic
wasn't looking for
energy.
that.
Yeah.
That was the universe giving me help. Do that shit. Pay it forward. Oh my God, it works. It
Pay it
works. It was such a
forward
good ride. It
always. Always.
was a horrible ride.
You're the type of
But yeah,
person that would give your shirt off the back for somebody with the go without also, Henry. So that's why that comes back to you.
of
It's the
course I'm a
boom
people
effect.
pleaser.
You are not.
I
You are not.
was.
You used to be.
I'm working on it.
Yeah,
I'm
because now
always
you're not.
working on
Now you're not. Now you're not a people pleaser. Now you are. You do it because you love it and because it makes you feel good. You don't do it because they need it. You do it because you want to do it. Before you used to do it because they needed it. You learned from that. You grew from that. You realized, fuck them and worried about me. And now you do it because you want to do it. And you love it.
I wanted to feel purpose too. I've always wanted to have a purpose. I wanted to be more than just a slob, which I was. But I might have been fucked up and drunk, but I help you push your car out of the road on a stormy day, and just
And
try
I
to
believe
save
that.
something.
And I'm glad you said that because it made me think of my ex. And he had a big heart, but he didn't love himself. And the reason why he had such a big heart, because it made up for him not loving himself. He felt that if he could help somebody and give them something, then that made up for him not loving him correctly.
Man, but trying to help too many people sets you further back.
For sure. He never loved him. He still don't to this day. So some will learn and some will not. Some aren't ready to. We talked about this last time, brother. So like some you can only go for so far with some people because eventually you're going to be just doing this.
Right.
You can't force them to eat or to receive.
I'm growing into that receiving phase. I'm telling you, I'm growing into it. And then um sometimes it does feel like an awkward situation. I'm not gonna hold you. Sometimes it does feel awkward, but um I'm learning to grow through these things. So yeah. Yeah, I look forward to that process being finished. And again, yeah, you speaking facts. Everyone's bringing facts. I'm telling you, it's all food because you can like point people in the right direction over and over and over and over and over. And then you find yourself in that robotic stage where that's all it is with that particular person. You'll notice that your interaction with them is always just that one thing. It's nothing ever different, and you grow out of that. You know what I'm saying? Um, but in the end,
You always
it's
present. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead, go
I
ahead, go
was
ahead,
say
go ahead.
you always present growth through action. You know, and you pop on the show, you don't even sometimes you don't talk. You sit there, and it's always valuable input when you talk about how we're all growing. It's inspirational to hear how you each can benefit each other on the show like that. As I need to hear a lot
Yeah,
of the shit you say to me, man.
You know what I learned, and Henry said this earlier, and so did you, brother, that we attract ourselves around them type of individuals that we loved when we were younger and that we looked up to when we were younger. I have learned I had somebody that I valued them because of when they spoke, it was wisdom. They didn't appreciate me and see me in the light that I saw them in. They didn't celebrate me like I celebrated them. So I removed them. And then now I have you, brother. I have you that's just like them and like me at the same time. It's a better balance.
it's love. It's real, man. It's that mirror we spoke on. Like when we first met, I felt that like it was crazy because, like I said, I remember that conversation, but I also remember like when I first saw like your profile picture, it was within the live, and I was like, "Yo, it's crazy." I said, "That's good people's right there." Didn't even see a word. Like I didn't see nothing put up. I was just like, oh, "Okay." I think it was like your greeting, and I was like, "Yeah, that's good people's." And it just went on about my business and more. And then next thing you know, we having a conversation, and yeah, it was off some transition for my life and everything. And I have learned a lot from you guys. Everyone that's come into my life, I'm learning a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a sponge. I'm a sponge, man. I don't try to hold no cap on nothing. I don't, man, I
What'd you
love
have to do to learn? What'd you have to do to receive?
learning.
You had to let go.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
You had to
It was
remove what was not of you.
Yeah, that was damn hard though, for real. You'll know when you're really in that moment too. You'll really know when you're in that moment. Shit, it's a feeling that sticks to your gut, but how you feel afterwards, like yeah, change is coming, and it's all been a process. Truthfully, it's been a process because I catch myself, um, and we still have our dark days. You know what I'm saying? People, you're allowed to have your dark days. Remember that. But at the same time, in those dark days, like I said, keep in mind that your transition is your transition for a reason. And you're going through these things for a reason. You're growing through them for a reason. You're growing through them for a reason. And you're not going to understand what that reason is either. Not all the time. You ain't going to know. You ain't going to be able to understand a lot of the shit. You just going to keep on going on. Hello. What's good, moms? What's good?
I love her and I'm grateful that she tuned
Yeah,
on. Thank you, Mama. I
yeah,
appreciate you. She gave me some beautiful advice when I needed it the most, and I don't think she knew how much I really needed it. Um,
yeah. It's your
but
beautiful
I really
soul.
needed the advice that she gave me, and it hit hard at the moment.
I love when that food come to you and it fills your gut up. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, just learning how to transition and go through the day to day. Man, it's beautiful. It's starting to look more and more beautiful. At first, I just seen a whole bunch of weeds, and then I learned I had to water my own grass. So that's what I'm doing because they say it's green on the other side. Say, man, why don't you just water your own grass a little bit? So, yeah, that's what I'm in the process of doing, watering my own grass right now, filling up
What's that?
jugs for everybody else.
What's he say?
Says, yeah, I believe it's always a reason and it gives us strength eventually. Not
Facts,
anything else.
Facts,
food.
facts. And the hardest thing to do though is to lose. And I don't mean a loss of an individual, even just of letting go. The fact of that I tried so hard. I tried so hard in this relationship. I tried so hard in this friendship. I tried so hard in this job. I tried so hard with it being a parent. I tried so hard being a child. And now I have to let it go. I had to be okay with not being in that position, not having that child, not being that child, not, being in that relationship. But once we removed what was not of us, so much beautiful things came to us. Like I would not have met my husband. I would not have met Danny, honestly. No one's ever loved me out loud my whole entire life, and I have somebody that screams on the top of their lungs how much they love me. And I love that because I needed that. I deserved that. So, like, I would not have had that if I didn't remove what was not for me because I was trying to hold on to stuff that wasn't healthy because I didn't want to let go and quit. I felt like a failure. But then I realized I wasn't a failure. I chose me. Once you choose you and you become unapologetically selfish with your love, it's so much easier to remove what is not for you. So that's why my biological mom, that's why that separation with my biological mom was so easy when she passed, because I had to choose me over wanting to be her child. Make sense?
Facts. Get that, receive that. Yeah, that you said that word. You already know what I'm gonna say. You said that word. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that word holds so much power. It holds so much power. It's recognize that, man, and I'm doing my best to keep recognize that. I had a conversations with my young kings and queens, and I'm like, yo, y'all just remember that choice word is real. That choice word is real. It's so powerful. Let that be powerful in your mind. Just remember your choice defines a lot in your life. It really
And
does.
there's always somebody's always gonna be a villain in someone's story.
Yeah.
Someone's always gonna be the villain. So at the end of the day, you have that choice to be the villain or that choice to just choose you. And that's your truth. That's your truth. Choosing you is your truth, and it doesn't matter what somebody else says.
Right. Because
Losses
just like
are hard, but
yeah,
how we go through them, that's powering. Go ahead, brother.
I was just gonna say sometimes we the villain and don't even know it.
I've been there.
Sometimes we the villain. Yeah, I've been there. I'm just being real as I can, with the topic, you know what I'm saying? We just do have to remember that sometimes you are that villain. You have to recognize that, you know what I mean? But then again, there goes that choice to choose you or that role, you know what I'm saying? And if you know you, shit, you don't even worry about being a villain. Because if your intention ain't to be the villain, you're not going to be the villain. You're never the villain. It's
Not at
crazy.
all. Not at all.
Wordplay is crazy.
It is crazy. And that's perception, how you see it. So you don't have to see a loss as a loss. You can see it as a gain. Always. Out of every loss, there's a gain. You just gotta find it. Because I haven't lost anything. I've gained such a beautiful life. I've gained a lot of people that celebrate me and that love me correctly and that believe in me. That's my truth. What do you say, Henry?
Well, as long as you can choose to do something different or just make a choice whatsoever, it's not over, right?
Thank you, TJ.
Grief's not the end. Grief's not the end. Other people aren't. Losing others isn't the end of you, even if it feels like it. So, be strong for them. It's probably 9 times out of 10 what they would want. 10.
There's no such thing as a loss, though. Honestly. This is business, baby. Life is business.
We lose things with people. We lose the ability to ask them questions, talk to them, certain things. And that's why we look at it as a loss.
That's
their
it.
loss.
That's it. That's it. That's it. So I'm going to do this to you, Henry, and I haven't done this in a minute to you. You, from 5th grade, you, just out of high school, you, just jumping into your marriage, and then you, today. Do you see losses or gains?
Gains.
But at the moment, what were they to you? At the moment you went through them. At the moment you went through them, there were losses.
I'm trying to see if I was looking at ultimate loss or potential loss.
That's a good one too. That's a good one too.
My God.
That's a good one too. But yet, when we're going through the losses, we feel them as losses. It sucks to lose a parent, especially if you needed them still. But did you really lose them? Because they're going to live on through you, through your children, through your actions, and through how you become a mom. So is a loss really a loss? Or is it just became a memory? There's a lot of things I don't receive properly to know, have a real understanding. But I'm not afraid of the unknown. I talked to Chili Mo today, and he was die hard on going to work, and that everybody should go to work, and I need to go punch a clock and all that stuff when I was in a relationship with him. Now that I am not in a relationship with him, he chooses to not go to work and do his own thing and just Uber and go around the world and travel and stay in different hotels and living his best life free.
Good.
Yet it had to take me to be with him and then to leave him for him to receive that. So there's not a loss. It's a gain. He gained him by us.
Sounds mutually respectful.
Yes. Yes.
That's good. That's a good case scenario.
And he is happy in the relationship I'm in now and realized that Danny gave me everything that he couldn't when it comes to loving properly. That's what he said today to me. I love that.
Damn.
I love that I made an impact in his life and allowed him to choose him. And I still have that love for him as an individual for the moment that we had. That was it. So anyways, how are we going to wrap this up?
Well, tell you what, my guitar's broken and I'm hiring a box kite. So
your guitar got broke. Oh no, you need to make another.
I didn't make that one. I got that from the Ibanez Corporation.
No, you need to make one.
I hate making instruments. I would never make an instrument up to my specifications.
I feel that.
I don't want to make instruments. I want to play them. I happen to like Ibanez, but I got to fix the neck. Hopefully I can do that, or else I don't know. I think I got my Cash App on stuff. I don't have any music out, but help the Henry Schul show. No, I don't fucking know. I'll do something. Whatever. Like I said, I got tons of problems. I'm just trying to work on it.
So, brother, did you dip?
No, I'm here. What's up?
How do you want to end it?
Ooh, man. Talking about losses, you know, how to receive those losses, how to grow through those losses.
And stand strong.
Yeah. You know, you never forget your losses. And that's okay. But eventually you'll see that loss is just for a period of time. So I look at it all as being periodical losses. Yeah, there are gains. You do gain. So stand on that. Stand on what's to come from what you consider the loss at that time. You know, you may not know the meaning and have that full understanding at first, but remember, it'll come to you in due time when it's time. And as simple as leading by faith, not by sight. And don't get distracted by the sight that you're going to call yourself leading. And don't get distracted by that. Don't get distracted by it. It's going to happen. But, you know, just keep in mind that your faith's got to kick back in. Lean on that. Lean on what you believe is meant for you. Remember your worth. You'll be good. Just keep growing. Allow yourself to be watered. Because I'm telling you, once you do those drops, yeah, turns into like a force of the love, man. I'm telling you, it's love.
So I want to say, in closure, there's no such thing really as a loss, and this is just my perception. This is just my interpretation of life. There's no such thing as a loss. It's hidden gains you haven't noticed yet. There's no such thing as a loss. From even death. Because no one can wipe away that memory that you have of them. Even in breakups, even in jobs that you no longer have, you still have memories that you hold on to. You still have moments that you're going to cherish, even if they're not many. So there's no such thing really as a loss. We have to learn to gain. We have to learn to love. We have to learn to love ourselves. Stop searching it for it through others and start finding it within ourselves. And once we find it within ourselves, then we can receive it from everyone else. But we have to learn how to receive it from us first. So stand tall. Don't see it as a loss. Remember the good times. Never look at the bad. And learn to love yourself correctly. Because Henry said this, and I pass this on as if it was mine. And I don't know where he got it from. But you are the most important person in your world, because if you didn't exist, neither did your world to you. So, like, think of that one. Shit. That's it. May everybody's night be full of positive energy and high vibrations. Peace and love, everyone. And love yourself. and stand tall through it all. Ashe.